Okay, and finally, I just want to talk about some of the more minor points about this episode, which actually aren't really all that big a deal. Like I asked the question of why have they only just realised that Tyrek has escaped? Some people have sort of suggested they didn't know he'd escaped. Well, how can you not know a prisoner's escaped from a prison? That doesn't really make much sense. But again, it wasn't really even me really sort of complaining or saying the episode was bad. It was just a sort of passing remark that I didn't really even think much about while I was writing the review. The point about why Tyrek brought Discord along when he was dealing with Twilight, again, just a passing remark. It doesn't really bother me in any kind of major way. The rainbow powered designs looking as horrendous as they are, they're on screen for such a brief period. It's a kind of a minor point. I was kind of worried that they might be in Rainbow Rocks, but I believe that they're not. I could be wrong about that. Twilight's Castle, that actually is something that has me sort of more concerned about Season 5 than it is really a problem with the episode. Other than that, I don't think there's much of a problem really in terms of sort of more minor points outside of the ones the bigger sort of issues that I've already covered in the previous videos. I just wish people sort of acting like this episode's perfect or something, or don't seem sort of willing to accept the fact that this episode has flaws or something. Saying that the episode isn't perfect, acknowledging the fact that it has flaws is in no way saying that it's bad. I don't think Twilight's Kingdom is a bad episode at all. In fact, I think it's pretty good. I do wish people would stop just sort of getting kind of worked up about, anybody who is suggesting that there's things wrong with, not just Twilight's Kingdom, but any episode really. Learn to accept criticism of a show. People saying that an episode is bad, that's a slightly different issue. But people simply saying that there are problems with an episode, that's really just something you're going to have to live with, because no episode is perfect. And actually, aside from the rainbow power designs and, maybe the design of Twilight's Castle, it's actually a very good episode visually. The fight between Twilight and Tyrek, Tyrek's design is amazing. The different sort of locations you see, seeing all four princesses together, I thought that looked pretty awesome as well. It is quite a nice looking episode, just sort of in general. In fact, it's a very nice looking season in general. The only other real issue I think anybody really has with Twilight's Kingdom is just the sort of idea that it's suggesting that the show is jumping the shark or taking things in too radical or different a direction. But like I said in the previous video, I would actually really like them to take the show in a different direction. Even if it's not really a different direction that makes a huge amount of sense, just the very idea of taking the show in a different direction is something I actually really want them to do. And it would actually really annoy me if they didn't do that. It's unbelievable that people on the internet sort of will generally sort of think like that, because it is just the complete polar opposite of the way I think about, pretty much any TV show. I cannot stand it when a show just stays the same throughout, from season to season to season. I really, really just want them to change things constantly and switch things up and give it more of a kind of serial type format, so I really have a different kind of feel to every single episode that I watch and every single season that I watch. I do not want them to keep things the same. That is the thing that is going to drive me away from this show and make me think, I've had enough of this. I'm tired of this tired old stale format. The only way that they're going to keep me watching this show is if they change things. So, in that sense, Twilight's Castle and the title of the Princess of Friendship, it's not really been explained in any kind of major way as of yet, but it has me intrigued for Season 5 because I want to see where they go with it. If it turns out, it's just like something for the season premiere or something, I'll probably be annoyed about that. And, if they just, again, resort back to the status quo after that, that will probably really annoy me. But yeah, this whole thing about, bring back Twilight's house, or, not liking the idea that she's a princess now, or not liking the idea that she's an alicorn, or whatever. That's actually what I kind of like about it, just the mere fact that they are changing things up and taking the show in a different direction. I think the only other kind of minor thing I've heard people say is that it doesn't work as a finale or something. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. And to be honest, I'm probably not the right person to talk about this because, when I watch a TV show, I don't really think about, does it work as a finale, does it work as a premiere, or anything. It's more just sort of an episode to me. I just sort of try to look at each episode separately. But yeah, I think that's about it. That's, just a little follow-up I had to some of the thoughts I've had about Twilight's Kingdom over the last few months. Okay, that's that, guys. See ya.